Please repeat. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayet nashta prayeshva bhadreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki krishnaya vasudevaya devaki nandanaya cha nanda gopa kumaraya govindaya namo namah. Hare Krishna. We welcome you all, and we also have Divyatma Prabhu joining us on Zoom. Hare Krishna, Divyatma Prabhu. Welcome to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam study. It's a pleasure to have you online with us. Hari Bol. So, I will just. What chapter did we discuss last time? Anybody remember? Number 2, yes. And what was the title, Prabhu? Remembrance of Krishna. Yes, very good. Very good, Prabhu. Thank you. And who was remembering Krishna? Uddhav ji or Shri Uddhav. So it's very important we, any senior personality we address or anyone, we show utmost respect, whoever it may be, that person may be. And Shri Uddhav ji, Krishna himself said he's not inferior to me in any way, but regardless. Okay, so Uddhav ji was remembering. Who was he remembering? Whom was he remembering? Uddhav ji? He was remembering Lord Krishna. And how the conversation started?
Shri Vidura ji asked questions to Shri Uddhav ji.
Shri Uddhav ji, yes. Vidura ji inquired from Uddhav ji. He asked various questions, right? And he asked about Lord Shri Krishna and Balram. Then he asked about Vasudev ji, Mother Devaki, Kunti, Dhritarashtra, Panduputra, other brothers, Bhim, Arjun, Nakul, Sahadev. So he inquired about everyone, but even though he already knew what had happened, right? He found out about it when he was in the Prabhas Kshetra on the bank of Mother Saraswati. He had already found out, but he was still asking. Maybe sometime we say somebody should prove me wrong. So he wanted to ask again. And in asking that, he instigated Uddhav ji to speak about Lord Krishna. He remembered Lord Krishna. Yeah. So after Vidura ji asking many questions, then Vidura ji then concluded his questions, and then finally he says, "Oh my dear friend, let's talk about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vartam sakhe kirtaya tirth kirte." Oh my dear friend, let's talk about him who is being glorified in all the places of pilgrimage. And then Uddhav ji remembered about Lord Shri Krishna, and Autkantaya, his throat choked. Yeah. And what did we discuss? We sing Shiksha Ashtakam every day. Nayanam Galadashru Dharaya. Yeah. Ruddhaya Gadgad. Yeah. Gadgad Ruddhaya Gira. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Shiksha Ashtakam verse number 6. He is praying that when will that moment come, my dear Lord? When I remember you. And the moment I remember you, what will happen? Nayana Galad Ashru Dharaya. The torrent rain, the tears will start flowing from my eyes. My throat will be choked. I won't be able to speak. Pulkair Nichitam Vapu Kada. When the hairs on my body will stand. And just Tav Nama Grihine Bhavishyati. just by speaking your name, when will that moment? So Uddhavji is teaching us from his own, you can say, activities. And he's not pretending to teach us. This is natural. Jivara Swarup Krishna Nitya Das. This is his natural swabhav. Prabhupada used to be very strict. Sometimes people pretend. They start, crying, the tears flowing, but there is no real feeling. Fake. And the point is, who are we faking? Krishna is inside the heart. He's watching. He's always watching us, what we are doing. So Uddhavji, he was a devotee from the very young age when mother called him for breakfast. Breakfast is supposed to be because child has slept for a long time. He must be hungry. You all mothers, you must have, morning you wake up and you start preparing breakfast for the children. The first thing is forget about Prabhuji's, but children, So as a mother. But Uddhavji was from the very young age, from the age of 5, he will make dolls of Krishna and he will play with them. Even though he was cousin of Krishna. It's almost same age. Not much difference. But that shows the love. So it was natural from the beginning. He was so much. And now when Vidurji asked him, he has grown older. He's 100 plus. So the point is, even at the old age, and the one point that we discussed was the aging of the body is at the physical level. And the spiritual worship is at the spirit level. So that spirit should never slow down. Even though the body slows down, but the spiritual level, it should always be, hale and hearty. And for that, we need association. For our spirits to stay high, we need good association. We need constant chanting of the holy names. Very important. So Uddhavji was always, he was in ecstasy. And then for a moment, he went to Golok Vrindavan. For two ghadi, as in 48 minutes, he could not even speak. And then he came back. He came back at the body level and then he started speaking to Vidurji. And when he starts speaking to Vidurji, the first thing he remembers the Yadu. He says, what a misfortune of Yadavas. They were so close to Krishna, but they thought of him as one of them. And the analogy given by our acharyas is, the moon also comes from the Shwet Sagar, Shir Sagar. We know Shir Sagar where Kshirodakshay Vishnu, who is residing as Paramatma in our hearts. So that Shir Sagar, which is called Milk Ocean. So a fish in the Milk Ocean thinks moon as one of them. They're not able to appreciate the potency of the moon. They think I'm a fish and he's also fish, one of the fish. And even though he has arisen from the Shir Sagar. And there is another important point highlighted by Srila Prabhupada in his purport. He says, we people living on the earth, we don't believe there is a Milky Ocean. Some people don't believe, right? So Srila Prabhupada says, compare it, analogy he gives. If your liver is not good, you are given Gomutra. If your liver is not good, you are given Gomutra. And because we are diseased, we are in this world. And the only ocean water we taste is the salty water of the ocean. And we think there is no Milky Ocean. But that doesn't mean if somebody who has a liver disease and he's given Gomutra, doesn't mean the cow doesn't give the milk. Because he's diseased. He cannot take the milk. So he's only given Gomutra. So similarly for us, we are only tasting the salty water of the ocean, but people don't believe that there is a Milky Ocean. But the Shastras, the scriptures say that, so we should believe it. So there should not be any question of that. It's scripture. So he says, so unfortunate Yadavas, they considered Lord Krishna to be one of them. And they could not get the benefit of his association. And then he remembers the beauty of Krishna. And he tells Vidurji, you were there in the Rajasuya Yagna, where Lord Krishna was given the topmost. Ikshaniyo. He was the most beautiful, most handsome personality in that assembly. And he was given the top seat. He was given the top respect in that assembly. He remembers that. And then he starts remembering how Lord Krishna was born in the prison house of Kans. And then how, when he grew up, Krishna and Balram, they went to their parents. They asked forgiveness from the parents. That sorry, we could not do. We could not come and serve you. We could not help you. And then he also recalls the demons or the soldiers who were fighting against Krishna in the battlefield. And he says that actually those soldiers who fought in the battlefield, they were more fortunate than Arjuna. How? Yes. They could see Krishna face to face, whereas Arjuna could only see the back of Krishna. Yeah. See? Very important. It is very important to be in front of the Lord. Lord Ram says, Sammukh jeev ho hi mohi jabahi, janma koti as nasai tavi. Agar janma koti agar nasai tavi. Sammukh, you just have to come in front of me. As soon as you come in front of me, your crores and crores birth, the sins of your crores and crores birth gets destroyed straight away just by coming in front of him. See, that is why it is important when we come in front of the Lord, look at him. And it's not you, he also wants to see you. He also wants to see you. As a parent, don't you want to see your children? You want to see them, you will say, come in front of me, right? Come and show me. So like this, Krishna waits. I was looking at Riley, he came dressed today, right? Very nice, he's got this headband. Good. So you dress, Krishna looks at you. So he remembers, Uddhavji remembers like this, the misfortune and fortune of the people. And then he remembers his pastimes in Vrindavan. Finally, he was born in the prison, Mathura. Then from Mathura, he was taken to Vrindavan by his father. Then in Vrindavan, he played with his friends. We just sang, Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Kunja Vihari. Yamuna Tira, on the banks of Yamuna, he played. Jai Kunja Vihari. I explained last time, understand what is a Kunj? Understand? Okay. So in Vrindavan, there are trees along the pathways, and there are creepers, flowery creepers, who have gone like creepers. So they go on the trees, and they have it's like, so that's what is called Kunj when you walk, right? So they are covered, both the trees. Prabhuji, come forward. Come forward here. Prabhu, come here. I think, come forward. People will be coming, so it is easier for them. Yeah. Then he remembers how he was born in the Mathura, in the prison. He was taken to Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, he was playing with his childhood friends. Then he killed so many demons. He was like a lion cub, and he was killed the demons like a doll, like a child breaks the doll, like you see he did. Then he also lifted the Govardhan. We'll be celebrating Govardhan on 30th October. 30th October is the Govardhan Leela. Yeah. And then how he tamed Kalyanag. He pushed him out of Yamuna and sent him to the ocean. Yeah. And then how he performed the Ras Leela. Yeah. And at what age did Krishna leave Mathura to go to Vrindavan? 11 years. Yes. At the age of 11, then he went to Mathura. So today's chapter is Krishna's pastime out of Vrindavan. Now that remembrance is continuing. See, this is it. What the shlok that we discussed last time was Bhagwan Kapil Dev, when he is telling Mother Devhuti the symptoms of pure devotion. So he's saying, Mad Guna Shruti Matrena, just by hearing my name, just by hearing my qualities, right? What happens? Mano Gatir Avichinna. Your mind, without any break, just runs. And the analogy given is Yatha Ganga Ambaso Ambudav. How the water of Ganges runs so fast. If you go up Gangotri, Rishikesh, Haridwar, the current is so fast. So she's like that, our mind should run to Krishna. The moment you hear Yashomati Nandan Damodar, your mind should remember the pastime of the Damodar Leela. So that has to be the move. And let's keep testing ourselves. There is no one else to tell us rather than we ourselves. You test your own mind. Where is my mind going? If I see Yashomati Nandan, is my mind thinking about his Leela? No. Then bring it back. Bring it back. Self-test. Because at the end, it is me only who has to bring my mind onto the feet of Krishna. No one else will help. Right? So who am I trying to impress? So that's the analogy. See, so Uddhavji's remembrance continues. Now he's remembering Krishna's pastime outside of Vrindavan. So we will take a verse today. Let me share my screen with the, I think today, because Kripal Prabhu has decorated the walls, we won't be using the projector. But if you can follow, this is a very simple verse. If you want, it's chapter 3, 3rd canto, verse number 19. Devyatma Prabhu, I'll share my screen with you and then you can see that verse. Please repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhagavan api Vishwatma. Bhagavan api Vishwatma. Lokaveda pathanugaha. Lokaveda pathanugaha. Kaman shisheve dvarvatyam. Kaman shisheve dvarvatyam. Asakta sankhayam sthita. Asakta sankhayam sthita. Jai, see, you all of you reciting because you are hearing. Right? Okay. Word by word meaning. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Please repeat. Bhagavan. The personality of Godhead. Api. Also. Vishwa Atma. The super soul of the universe. Loka. Customary. Veda. Vedic principles. Pathanugaha. Follower of the path. Kaman. The necessities of life. Shisheve. Enjoyed. Dwarvatyam. In the city of Dwarka. Asakta. Without being attached. Sankhya. Knowledge in Sankhya philosophy. Asthita. Being situated. So, Uddhavji is remembering Lord Krishna's pastime out of Vrindavan now. And this he is remembering in Dwarka. So, today we will cover Mathura as well as Dwarka. Okay. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Please repeat. Simultaneously, the personality of Godhead enjoyed life in the city of Dwarka. Strictly in conformity with the Vedic customs of society. He was situated in detachment and knowledge as enunciated by the Sankhya philosophy. Come sit here. Sit, Keshav, sit. Come closer, children. And there will be more people coming, so come forward, Prabhuji. Come forward. Come here. There is more space here, so that you are not blocking the way. Please come forward. Okay. So Uddhavji is remembering Lord Krishna's pastime in Dwarka. In this verse, what Uddhavji is saying is, let me repeat again. I hope you got the gist of it. But what he's saying is that Lord Krishna, he was living in Dwarka, but he enjoyed Kaman Sisheve. He enjoyed the life as Lok Ved Pathanuka. As per Lokachar and as per society norms, he enjoyed his life as a Grasta. In the 10th canto, there is a chapter which describes Lord Krishna's daily routine. How he gets up in the morning, then he takes early bath, then he goes, then he offers his prayers, then he gives dakshina to Brahmanas, then he goes and sits in the Sudharma assembly. So Lord Krishna's assembly is called Sudharma assembly. He sits there, then he takes care of the kingdom, right? And in the morning, it is so amazing. How many wives? 16,108. And all the Krishnas from all the palaces, they will leave, and then one Krishna will come and sit in the assembly. Nobody will even find out. My Guru Maharaj says, those people who say that they are Bhagwan, who declare themselves Bhagwan, let them do something like that. How Krishna ate fire. My Guru Maharaj says, just put one matchstick in their mouth. If they can swallow that, put it out. Those who declare themselves to be God. So very important. So Lord Krishna as a Lok Ved Pathanuga, as per Lokachar, as per scriptural guidelines, he was living his life as a Grasta. Right? And he also enjoyed Kaman Shisheve, the desires. In Grasta life, he also fulfilled the desires. But, very important point, but what did he do? Sankhyam Sthita, Asakta Sankhyam Sthita. Asakta is he wasn't attached. And Sankhya Sthita. Sankhya philosophy. The Bhagavad Gita second chapter is called Sankhya Yoga. Bhagwan Kapil Dev, we will study in 25 chapter. Bhagwan Kapil Dev will teach Mother Dev, which is Sankhya philosophy. But just so you know, Sankhya philosophy, the gist of it is the material, the Prakriti and Purush. This was a question asked by Mother Dev to Bhagwan Kapil Dev. Please tell me the difference between Prakriti and Purush. Purush is soul, here in this case, the soul. And then, so there are basically 24 elements. 5 knowledge acquiring senses, 5 gross elements. Everybody knows what are those 5 gross elements? Agni, Jal, Vayu, Prithvi, Akash. Right? 5. 5 knowledge acquiring senses. What are the 5 knowledge acquiring senses? Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and touch. Then 5 object of the senses. 15. And then 5 karmendriya, working senses. Hand, legs, evacuation, regeneration. Right? So 5 working senses, 5 knowledge acquiring senses, 5 gross elements, 5 sense objects, 20. And then Suksham Sharir, subtle body, mind, intelligence, false ego. How many? 23. And the 24th is the soul or the Purush. And then some acharyas add 25th, they say Param Purush, the super soul. So the question is, now all of these 23 and the soul. So that is the difference. Second chapter is called Sankhya Yoga because that's what Lord Krishna was trying to tell Arjuna. Vasansi jirnani yatha vihaya navani gihrnati naroparan. How a human being, right, people, when the clothes get old and worn out, then they put them away, right, and then they get the new clothes. Vasansi jirnani yatha vihaya navani gihrnati naroparan. Tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani. Similarly, as the body deteriorates, anyani sayyati navani dehi. the soul accepts another body. So that is the difference. So that is the gist of it. But Bhagavan Kapil Dev has in very detail. So here Lord Krishna, Sankhya Sthita, he was very clear, or he is leading by the example. Anasakta, he was not too attached, he was detached, and he was mindful of the Sankhya. That soul, you are not this body, you are a soul. So always keeping that mind. So that's how we live. So this is what Uddhavji is remembering. Now here the purport. While Maharaj Yudhishthir was the emperor of the earth, Lord Krishna was the king of Dwarka and was known as Dwarakadhish. Like other subordinate kings, he was under the regime of Maharaj Yudhishthir. Although Lord Shri Krishna is the supreme emperor of the entire creation, while he was on this earth, he never violated the principles of the Vedic injunctions because they are the guide for human life. Regulated human life according to the Vedic principles, which are based on the system of knowledge called Sankhya philosophy, is the real way of enjoyment of the necessities of life. Without such knowledge, detachment, and custom, the so-called human civilization is no more than an animal society of eat, drink, be merry, and enjoy. The Lord was acting freely as he willed, yet by his practical example, he taught not to lead a life which goes against the principles of detachment and knowledge. Attainment of knowledge and detachment, as very elaborately discussed in Sankhya philosophy, is the real perfection of life. But make no mistake, the Sankhya philosophy also leads into the Bhakti Yoga. Sankhya Yoga leads to Bhakti Yoga. But some people like to analyze the things around them. They want to understand, Prabhu, what is this? Why is this? Sometimes some people say, why this thought is coming to my mind? Why just now I thought about this? So they want to go through that process. In the 11th canto, Lord Krishna, when he speaks to Uddhavji, Uddhav Gita, so Uddhav asks a question, and Lord Krishna tells him that there are three marg: Gyan marg, Karma marg, and Bhakti marg. He says, Lord Krishna says very clearly, people who are frustrated from this life, they can take the Gyan marg. Because they are frustrated, they want to analyze. Krishna says, okay, let them take the Gyan marg. Let them negate, this is not good, this is not good, this is not good. Okay, then what is good? And then ultimately they reach to some conclusion. People who are in mode of passion, who wants to do something, who wants to produce something, where, yes, I've done this, right? For them, karma marg. And then between these two, Lord Krishna says, the best mark is the Bhakti Yoga. Yat richaya mat katha adau. So Lord Krishna says, if by providence or some arrangement, they develop interest in hearing my katha, yad richaya mat katha adau. Jat shraddhayastu yah puman. If the living entity develops a taste for hearing my katha, hearing my qualities and pastimes, and what is their other symptom? Na nirvinno, na ati asakto. Na nirvinno, sometimes people say, oh, this is bad. Oh, paisa to mitti hai. Money is bad. So that is called too much. Well, everything is created by Krishna. So we don't have to be too, like we discussed in the nectar of instruction, niyama agraha, right? We're following the rules for the sake of following the rules. We don't understand the essence. Sometimes, they are too, people even hesitate to talk to them. Somebody asks you, Prabhuji, how are you? And then you say, how does it help you, whether I'm good or bad? So you say, okay, Haribol. Right? So, na nirvanno, na ati asakto, not too attached also. Right? If they are in that mode, those people, for them, Krishna says, Bhakti yoge asya siddhida. Siddhida means ways of perfection. For them, Bhakti Yoga can help them get on to the ways of perfecting their life. Right? So that is the point. So that's what, here, attainment of knowledge and detachment, as elaborately discussed in Sankhya philosophy, is the real perfection of life. Knowledge means to know the mission of human form of life is to end all the miseries of material existence, and that in spite of having to fulfill the bodily necessities in a regulated way. Regulated way, Lord Krishna in 18th chapter he describes the various mode of devotion. And some people, if they are serving people, demoniac way of worshipping is how Hiranyakashipu went and he stood on one leg. He was torturing his body. If you are having to torture your body, if you are fasting with happiness, I want to fast for Krishna, I want to perform austerity. Or if you are looking at watch, Prabhuji, midday. Prabhuji, is my clock all right? No. Then, no. I mean, it still has its value, but you understand the point. But it is, you are not doing. But demoniac people like Hiranyakashipu, he performed austerity, but demoniac mode. And then what did he do? He punished himself and then he also punished others. That is the demoniac mode of worship. Bhakt, Nacho Gao Bhakt Sange, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, right? The best mode of service is we chant and we sing and we dance in front of Krishna and we honor the prasad, remnants of Bhoga offered to Krishna. That's all. So we don't have to be too, attached and too frustrated also. Yeah. Fulfilling the demands of the body is animal life, and fulfilling the mission of the spirit soul is the human mission. Yeah, very important. Okay, let's do Manglacharan and then we will discuss. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamlam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitantam Sajivam Savadhetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarobhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Bhute Mahadbhir Yaima Puro Vibho Nirmaya Shete Yadmosha Purusha Bhunte Gunan Shodashatmakam Solank Srishta Bhagavan Vachamsi Me Shri Krishna Sharanam Sharanagatam Katha Amritam Satat Pibatam Bhakti Vedanta Marga Panthanam Sarvaloka Rishide Janma Prasannam Sarvalok Rishi Deva Janma Prasanna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Mataji. May the Supreme Lord please decorate my tongue so that I am able to truly glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Serve Srila Prabhupada, my Guru Maharaj, and all the attendees. Hare Krishna. So, Lord's pastime in out of Vrindavan. Yeah. So now Lord Krishna comes to Mathura, and then, as we know, Akrurji went to bring Krishna and Balram to Mathura, and they are taken into a wrestling arena where the wrestlers were waiting for Krishna and Balram to kill them. But as Krishna and Balram entered into the arena, they killed all the wrestlers. And then Uddhavji, now this is Uddhavji's remembering the pastime. And Uddhavji says, then Krishna and Balram, they dragged Kans, Nipatya, as in he was dragged, he was thrown down from the Singhasan, from the throne that he was sitting on, right? And he is addressed as, he is the king of all the bad people. Yeah, he was the king of all the bad people. He was sitting there, yeah, and he was dragged down from the Singhasan. And then Lord Krishna, to please his parents, Mother Devaki and Vasudev, he killed Kansa. He killed Kansa, and it is said to please his parents, but at the same time, because Kamsa had performed so many bad activities, because his time was up. When Naradji goes, and Naradji actually instigated Kans to go and kill, other brothers, other children of Mother Devaki. So he wanted the clock to become forward, the fast forward, so that Krishna will come sooner. Yeah? So he says, Uddhavji says that he was dragged out of his throne, and he was onto the street, and Krishna and Balram killed him. And then he says, Krishna and Balram, then they went to study. Because they hadn't gone to school, and he was 11 years old. Mother Devaki and Vasudev, they were worried now. He has come, he's a city boy now, in the city. So he should go to school. So they arranged for him to go to the school. And when he went to the school, they say, Lord Krishna, very quickly, he understood everything. As Tulsidasi says, Guru Grah Gaye Padhan Raghurai or Alpakal Vidya Sab Aaye. Jaki Sahaj Swas Shruti Chari So Hari Padai Yah Kautuk Bhai. That Supreme Lord, in whose breath all the Vedas come out, that Supreme Lord is going to study. Kautuk Bhari, this is such a wonderful thing. So Krishna and Balram, they went to study. And who is their guru? Sandipni Muni. Yeah. And it is in Ujjain. So Ujjain city holds a lot of significance. So they went to study, and after the study, they offered Guru Dakshina to their guru. And Sandipni Rishi asked for, bring my son back. What had happened? The son had gone to near the ocean. And then the ocean, he drowned into the ocean, right? And then Krishna and Balram, they knew what had happened. Krishna entered into the ocean. And he entered into the ocean. There he found, because he could figure out who was that demon. Panchajan. He was a demon who was going around in the form of a conch shell. And he had taken that son of Sandipni Muni, and he had swallowed his son. Now Lord Krishna went and grabbed off that demon, and he killed that demon, who was in the form of a conch. And a conch had grown along his body. So when Krishna killed him in his udar, so he says, Uddhavji says, Putram Mritam Panch Janodara. Putram as in son, Mritam as in dead son, Panch Jano, Udar as in tummy. He could not find. See, amazing. Lord Krishna looking for his Guru's son in his tummy, but he could not find him. When he could not find him, then he went to Yamlok. He went to Yamlok, and also what did he do? When he killed, he took the shank. And that's why that became, please come forward. Yeah, come forward, Kunal. Yeah, come forward. So so the conch is called Panchjanne. In the Mahabharat war, right? He blew the conch shell. What is that verse? Panchajannam Rishikesho Devadattam Dhananjaya. Yeah. Pondrakam Dadamahu Mahashankham Bhim Karma Vrakottara. Anant Vijayo Rajan. Kunti Putro Yudhishthira. Nakula Sahadevascha Sughosha Pushpamani. So all these conch, just remembering the conch. So Lord Krishna took that conch and it became Panchajannesh conch. And he went on to the Yampuri. And Krishna goes on the door of Yampuri. And as Krishna reaches there, Yamraj comes. Yamraj comes and he bows down to Krishna. Because he knew he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And as Yamraj comes, he bows down in front of Krishna. And then Krishna instructs him. Krishna tells him, Guru Putram Iha Anitam. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. In the 10th canto, we'll hear this pastime. So Lord Krishna tell him, Guru Putram Iha Anitam. Nij Karma Nibandhanam. He says, my Guru Putra, son of my Guru, you have brought here. And Krishna says that. Why he has been brought here? Nij Karma Nibandhanam. Because of his past karma, he has been brought to Yampuri. Who goes to Yamlok? People who are destined to go to the hellish planets. It is all very clear. If who goes to Yamlok, who takes us to Yamlok? Yamdut. Who takes us to Yamlok? Yamdut, messenger of Yam. And who takes us to Vishnu Lok? Vishnudut. So if he was in the Yamlok, that means Yamraj, Yamdut had taken him. And Krishna says that Maharaj, that Krishna says that Anyaswa Maharaj. Oh Yamraj Maharaj, please bring him to me. And he says, yes, my dear sir, I will bring him to you. But what about his karma? Krishna says, Mad Shasan Puraskrata. Because of my order, Puraskrata, all his sinful activities have been washed away. Can anyone else do that? Krishna declared once Srila Prabhupada was on the beach and there was a crab there. And Brahmanand Maharaj, one of the earlier disciples of Srila Prabhupada, he was with Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, can you get that crab, catch that crab? As Brahmanand Maharaj, he went to catch the crab, he went into the ocean. Then Prabhupada said, see, he has taken the great shelter. Can you catch it now? No. Similarly, if you take the shelter of the feet of Krishna, nobody will catch it. But here Krishna went and Krishna brought his son, Guru's son back. He brought his son back, and then in the next verse, now Uddhavji recalls how Lord Krishna got married. Right? So Lord Krishna has killed Kansa now. He has gone to school. He has completed his studies. He has given Guru Dakshina to his Guru. Now he is ready for marriage. Next stage of life. Right? So his first marriage is to Mother Rukmini. Yeah. And Uddhavji recalls. He says, Padam Murdhani. He says all the kings had assembled there who were there to marry Mother Rukmini. But Lord Krishna putting his foot on head of all the kings. Padam, his foot, Murdhani, on the head of them. Dadat Suparna. Suparna is like a Garud. There is a famous pastime how once the demon had stolen nectar from Indra. And then Indra sent Garud. And as they were trying to drink, Garud came from the top and he took the, that kalash, that pot, and he went away. So similarly, Uddhavji says, all these kings, they had assembled. Lord Krishna came as a Garud and he put his foot on their head and he took Mother Rukmini away. And he married Mother Rukmini. Then in the next pastime, he says, how Lord Shri Krishna, then he went one of his other wives. Just so you know, there are 8 principal queens and 16,100. They were the girls rescued from Narakasur or Bhaumasur. Yeah. So then, it's all detailed in the 10th canto, but we're just trying to see from Uddhavji's mind. Remember that. This is how Uddhavji is remembering Lord Krishna. Yeah. And then he remembers how one of the other wives' name was Nagnajiti. So there was a king called Nagnajit. He had 7 bulls, 7 ferocious bulls. And he arranged the Savimbar and he said, whoever can put the noose onto these bulls, my daughter will marry with me. Her name was Nagnajiti. And so many princes came, they were gored by the bulls. Nobody can do anything. Then Lord Krishna found out, Lord Krishna came. As Lord Krishna entered into the assembly, King Nagnajit, he stood up and he said, what a great fortune. The Supreme Personality of God had come to my palace. And he asked Krishna, how, my dear Lord, I can serve you. Krishna says, I have come to marry your daughter. And then he said, yes, my dear Lord, but I have put a condition. So you will have to fulfill that condition. But I know you can fulfill that condition. I want you to marry my daughter. And my daughter also would be so fortunate to, get you as her husband. And then Lord Krishna put noose around those 7 bulls. And he got married to Nagnajiti. As Lord Krishna and Nagnajiti were coming, all these princes who had lost, they assembled. It is like all the dogs running after an elephant. But Lord Krishna defeated all of them. And he took Mother Nagnajiti to Dwarka. To Mathura, still in Mathura. He hasn't gone to Dwarka yet. And then he recalls how Lord Krishna went to heaven to get Parijat flowers. Last time somebody asked about Indra, still not learning his lessons. Who asked? Oh, Prabhu, you. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, Indra still did not learn his lesson. Even after Govardhan pastime, Govardhan Leela. One day, Lord Krishna, he had got letter from these 16,100 princesses who were put into the cage or sort of prison of Narkasur or Bhaumasur. So Lord Krishna went there and he killed him. He killed him and then appointed his son as the king. And then that Bhaumasur, he had also stolen the earrings of Mother Aditi. And then Lord Krishna and Mother Satyabhama, they said, let's go and return these earrings to Mother Aditi. Who is Aditi? Loudly? Mother of demigods. Right. That's why demigods are called Aditya. Because they are born from Aditi. And the demons are called Daitya because they are born from Aditi. So Lord Krishna and Mother Satyabhama, they went to the heavenly planets to return the earrings of Mother Aditi. As they were returning and who is Mother Aditi? She is also mother of Indra. They returned, but it is said that Sachi Mata, she did not respectfully receive Satyabhama. Even though, and then Satyabhama, she is Vamangi. And Mother Rukmini she is right and leftist and rightist. You know the difference. Rightist are, they're always like, yes, my master. In terms of loving relationship with Krishna or dealings with Krishna. So Mother Rukmini is always like, yes. Once again in 10th canto, we'll discuss the famous pastime. Lord Krishna tells Mother Rukmini, why did you marry me? Even after having the children, Lord Krishna tells her, even now you can change your mind. And she fainted. So, but Mother Rukmini is like that. But Satyabhama is Vamangi. She will get upset. And Krishna will then try to make her happy. So she got upset. Because Mother Sachi, she did not welcome her very nicely. And Satyabhama is thinking, even I was in that fight with Krishna. She actually helped Krishna. Sort of helped Krishna. She's thinking, I helped Krishna to defeat Narkasur and to get the earrings for her mother-in-law. And she is not respecting me. She got upset a little bit. But then she kept quiet. As Krishna and Mother Satyabhama, they were returning, they stopped on the way when they were coming back. So Indra's garden is called Nandan. In the garden, there is a Parijat tree. And Mother Satyabhama, she was already upset because Narad, she was already kind of upset because Narad had created another fuss. That's what Mother Mother Mena says. Narad ka mein kaha bigara. When he goes and arranges the marriage of Lord Shiva and Parvati. And when Mother Mena sees Lord Shiva, she says, what kind of groom is this? Narad ka mein kaha bigara. What wrong did I do to Narad? He has found this kind of husband for my daughter. Look at Lord Shiva. He was wearing the garland of skulls and he's got dust on his ashes on his body, and he's sitting on a bull. So she was very upset. So similarly, Narad one day came and he brought Parijat flower and he gave it to Mother Rukmani. And then he sees Satyabhama on the way. He says, "Oh, I brought that flower for you." But no, actually, he gave it to Krishna, and Krishna gave it to Mother Rukmani. And Nara says, "I brought it for you, but Krishna gave it to Rukmani. What can I do?" And then she told Krishna, "I want Parijat tree, not the flower." So there, when they were in the garden of Indra, so Krishna said, "Okay, let's take this tree." So he uprooted that tree, Parijat flower tree, and there were many trees there. But then Sachi Mata got upset, and she instigated Indra. "What is this? What is this? He has come and he is taking the tree from your garden. Stop him. I don't want him to take the tree for Satyabhama." So there was a fight between Indra and Krishna, but Indra got defeated ultimately. And how, so Uddhavji recalls how Lord Krishna brought that, Parijat tree from the heavenly planets. And it is said that Krishna planted that tree on the fence so that Mother Rukmani can also get flowers. Flowers will fall into her. So Uddhavji is recalling all those beautiful pastimes of Lord Krishna. And then so now marriage has happened. And then after that, he talks about how when Lord Krishna was in Mathura, then these Jarasandha, Kalyavan, Jarasandha attacked how many times Mathura city? 17 times. And Krishna defeated him but did not kill. Every time he came, he defeated and he will send him back. Why? Bring more and I will kill more. Bring more, I will kill more. So this is how he was reducing the burden of Mother Earth. Right? So he kept sending him back. 18 times he came, and then this time Krishna ran away. And he got the name Ranchor. Yes. Now Krishna goes to Dwarka. Right? So he ran away. There was another demon, and then there was more demons. We will just, we will read all of them in 10th canto. But once again, please focus. This is how Uddhavji is remembering Krishna. That is the point, Prabhuji Maitreya. I want to, Uddhavji, just by hearing the name of Krishna, all these pastimes are running into his mind. That's how we want to train our mind at the time of leaving the body. That's what Kulshekar Maharaj is saying. Krishna tvadiya padapankaj panjarantam adev me vishatu manas rajhamsa pranapaya Nasamaye kafvat pittaye kantavarodhana smaranam kutastai. Kulshekar Maharaj is saying, "Oh my dear Lord, may this mind of mine get entangled into the petals of your lotus feet. Right now, Adev. Because at the time of leaving the body, when my throat will be choked, Kaf, Vat, and Pit. You understand? Kaf is Kaf, we understand. Vat is bile. No, Vat is air. And Pit is bile. At the time, the blood starts converting into, it is very clearly described, into Kaf. And it comes up. It comes up to here. You can't even chant. You can't say. So that's what Kulshekar Maharaj said. May right now, my mind should entangle into the lotus feet, because at that time, my dear Lord, I won't be able to chant. So that is the mood. Uddhavji is remembering that. So we are training our mind. The whole process, the whole purpose of this association, we train our mind. And mind you, this shloka we discussed, there is nothing wrong. Lord Krishna, Kaman Shisheve, he enjoyed his life. Right? How? Asakta, without any attachment. Sankyam Sthita. You are well positioned, you are fully detached, you are ready made. If it has to come, let it come tomorrow. But we just take every day and we do our activities nicely. You wake up, you chant your rounds, you remember Krishna, you do your service, offer bhoga to him. That's it. Next day you wake up again. We just do our service. We just train ourselves. And that becomes our second nature. So there is no extra endeavor. The only problem is when we're trying to be smart with Krishna. That's what Prabhupada said. For crooked, he is crooked. But for simple devotion service is very simple. What is the problem, Prabhupada? What is the problem? Just chant your rounds and glorify Krishna. Yeah. So like this now Uddhavji is remembering so many demons came. Now Krishna has moved to Dwarka. Now as Krishna moved to Dwarka, now Lord Krishna established Maharaj Yudhishthira as the king of the universe, as it is mentioned in the purport also. He established Maharaj Yudhishthira as the king of the universe, and he also accepted himself as a subordinate to Maharaj Yudhishthira, because he is the king. He said, I will serve you. And then he also saved Parikshit Maharaj. We discussed in the first canto, 8th chapter, 9th chapter. In the 8th chapter, what? Son of Drona punished. Remember, Ashwatthama was punished. So Lord Krishna saved the embryo, saved Parikshit Maharaj. And then he motivated Yudhishthira Maharaj to perform 3 Ashwamedh yagnas. And for those yagnas, Arjun brought what you call the money. He brought the money for that also. Right? So he established Yudhishthira Maharaj as king. He saved Parikshit Maharaj, the embryo of Mother Uttara, and he asked Yudhishthira Maharaj to perform 3 Ashwamedh yagnas, and that was whole purpose of setting up the right administration across the universe. And now Lord Krishna was thinking to himself that in the Mahabharata war, this is again Uddhavji is recalling, or Lord Krishna is thinking that all these miscreants have been killed. But then he says the burden of the earth is still there. So he recalls Mad Anshar. He says, my Ansh, these Yadavas, Balam Vishaham Yaduna. He says, what if these Yadavas stay back? Right? So Srila Prabhupada, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, they on their commentaries, they've given various reasons. Right? One reason they've given is because Lord Krishna knew these Yadavas, they are so strong. So some of the Yadavas who were associates with Krishna, they had come from heavenly planets, demigods. Some of his associates, they came from Golok Vrindavan. So Krishna thought to himself that the burden of Mother Earth will still be very heavy. That's what he says. Vishaham balam durvishaham yaduna. Their weight, their burden on the earth will stay. But Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says this is the burden of love, not the burden of miscreant. Burden of love, because they will be missing Krishna. Because they will be missing Krishna, they will be in anxiety all the time. So Krishna thought it is better they come back with me. Or another way of in Acharyas have interpreted is because they were associate of Krishna, there are some fools. They will start treating them equivalent to God, and they will start offering prayers to them. So Krishna thought they might as well go back with me. This is Acharya's interpretation. Uddhavji is not saying this, but I'm just sharing with the commentary of our Acharyas. So that is another point. Through this, we don't question Lord's actions. We should just believe. I mean, people say Bhishma Pitama fought against Krishna. But devotees are put into that position. They accept because they are doing everything for the satisfaction of Krishna. There is no personal gain. Ahetuki, aprathirta, without any personal gain. This is, jis vidhi chaho, us vidhi rakho. My dear Lord, as you desire. Shiksha Ashtakam, Ashlishya Padratam Pinastumam. Yatha tatha va vidhatu lampatu. Mad prananath tusa eva nappara. Adarshanat marma hatam karotva. My dear Lord, you may disappear and you may break my heart. I'm lying. You can kick me or walk over me, or you can lift me up and embrace me. But you are only my pranath. That is the unconditional surrender. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us. And we are trying to belong to that parampara. We have Guru Parampara, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is what is our strength? What is our eligibility to see Krishna? No eligibility, just by being in that lineage. Just by reading their teachings, that is our only eligibility. Nothing else. And the mercy factor. So Lord Krishna then devised a plan. So he established Yudhishthira Maharaj as king, and then he made them perform Ashwamedh yagnas. And then it says Lord Krishna was in Dwaraka. he was enjoying his life. He was enjoying the pastime with Yadavas. In the night, he had his wives. So he was living a perfect grastha life. And here Yudhishthira Maharaj was established as king. But after some time, Lord Krishna also developed detachment. Tasya evam, Uddhavji is saying now, Tasya evam samvatsaranam, samvatsar ganan bahu, for many years, after many years, grihi medheshu yogeshu, when he was living with his wife, 16,108 lives, different, different palaces. But after many years, he also developed grih medheshu yogeshu viraga sanjayata. Virag, Bhagwan ko vairagya ho gaya. Can you believe it? Yeah.
He always had that.
He always had. But then Acharya says that now that Bhagwan Abhi Vishwatma, we just spoken that verse, he's showing that potential of his. He already living Sankhya, the Gyan, he's living with that, right? And now he's got Vairagya. But he's just teaching. Apne achari jivera dharma sikhaya. That is the movement. So Lord Krishna, he developed the detachment from that. And then now the time has come for the Yadavas to go back. He's still in Dwarka. And then one day, Yadavas, so Krishna thought to himself that make some arrangement so that they get intoxicated and they will fight with each other. So one day, the Yadavas, they disrespected some of the sages, right? And Mausal Leela. We will discuss it in the 11th canto again. But some of the Yadavas, they went to Rishis. Naradji was also there in that assembly. And they dressed one of the boys as a girl. And then they asked the Rishis whether he will have a boy or girl. They put some pillow around his waist. Not pillow, they say some iron thing was there, right? And then the Rishi could see that. They got angry. They cursed. They said, no, I'm not sure of boy or girl, but this will bring your destruction. And then they got scared. And then after some days, all these boys, Yadavas, they decided to go to Prabhas Kshetra. And here Uddhavji says that they were those who were bewildered by the demigods. Vimohita, samhrishta, right? By happily, they went to the Prabhas Kshetra. And there they took bath. They took nice bath. They performed their puja ceremony. They offered oblations to forefathers. They offered prayers to the demigods. They offered prayers to the sages, right? They performed a lot of charity there. They gave gold. They gave chariot. They gave cows, well-fed cows. They gave beds. They gold ornaments, etc. They did all the charity. And then they cooked very nice bhoga. They offered to the Supreme Lord, and then they offered it to Brahmanas. After offering it to Brahmanas, then what did they do? That we will discuss in the next section. So we will stop here now. Yeah, so this is Lord Krishna's pastime out of Vrindavan. Now, by now, Lord Krishna has already gone back to his abode. He went to his abode, but it will be discussed in detail in 11th canto. So, Prabhuji, Mataji, we welcome you. If anybody has any questions or comments, we can discuss, but we'll have to stop now. We'll be doing Aarti, and actually there will be lamp offering, and then Mataji's have prepared nice Diwali feast. So everybody is welcome to do. Divyatma Prabhu will miss you, but you are welcome, Prabhu, anytime, any Saturday. You are always welcome. 6 p.m. You know the address. Yeah. So yeah, we'll stop now. Anybody, any question or any comments? Yes, Prabhu.
In Bhagavad Gita, we all follow Krishna. It says like whenever Bhagwan speaks out, it says like Bhagwan watch. But in Bhagavad Gita, why it says like Krishna watch? Why not Bhagwan watch?
Prabhu, this is because Krishna is speaking to Uddhav as his friend, as his cousin brother. So there is that personal intimacy.
But here also there is intimacy, right? Between Arjuna and Krishna.
Yeah.
Why the difference?
Yeah.
And both written by same like Vyasa.
Yes.
Why in this Bhagavad Gita it says like Bhagwan watching.
Right. Prabhu, Another point I want to say is, like these chapters, for us, Acharyas have put them in various cantos. When Lord Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita, he did not say, now chapter 1, Arjun, now I'm going to speak chapter 2, now I'm going to speak chapter 3. This is done by, our Acharyas in the discussion session. I don't know where, at what point it happened. Similarly, in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam also, right? First, this Bhagavatam was spoken by Supreme Lord to Brahmaji. Then it was the Chaturshloki Bhagavatam. Only in 4 verses he spoke the Bhagavatam. And then Brahmaji narrated it to Naradji. And when he narrated the 4 shlokas to Naradji, then he says, Tvam etad vipuli kuru. You go and elaborate on this. Then Naradji went and spoke it to Vyasdevji. And then Vyasdevji spoke it to Shukdev Goswami. So what I'm trying to say is, Prabhu, it depends at that particular moment, the speaker. It is not Vyasdevji who is saying Shri Bhagavan Vacha or Krishna Vacha. It is the speaker who is speaking at that point of time. Yeah. So it's their mood, in what ecstasy mood they are, how they are perceiving the situation. So it is spoken by them. So what we are hearing, this is spoken by Shukdev Goswami. But in that assembly, Sut Goswami was also sitting. So the version that we are reading is spoken by Sut Goswami to Shaunaka Rishi. So you see how in that succession it has come. So these, somebody saying Shri Bhagavan Vacha, Shri Krishna Vacha. So Prabhu, it is at that point of moment, the speaker, how he's speaking, in what mood he is. So that's how I can say, Prabhu. But there is no specific explanation as to why it is Krishna or why Shri Bhagavan. But yeah, I like, Prabhu, you are reading so scrutinizingly. This is what Srila Prabhupada used to say, we should study scrutinizingly. It's good. It is good you are showing that sincerity. Please. Very nice. Very nice. Please keep it up. Very nice. Anyone else? Okay. Yes, Prabhu.
क्वेश्चन है जैसे आपने कहा पूरा पहले ज्ञान लिखने और जॉय कर रहे थे एंड लेटर पार्ट आपने ये में कोई फाइन लाइन है जिसको मैं पकड़ नहीं पा रहा हूँ कि अगर जैसे अगर हम ज्ञान लिखते हैं जैसे मैं शरीर नहीं अगर इस चीज की मेरे को हर वक्त याद रहता है कि मैं शरीर नहीं हूँ तो मेरे लिए तो वैसे ही विराट हो गया लाइक मैं हंसूंगा कैसे लाइक क्योंकि मैं तो हंसी नहीं रहा क्योंकि मैं तो शरीर ही नहीं हूँ तो हंसना मीनिंगलेस हो गया मेरी एंजॉयमेंट दी एंड हो गया अगर मैं हर वक्त ये याद रखूं इसी बात याद रखूं तो मैं शरीर नहीं हूँ तो मेरी जिंदगी के सारे एंजॉयमेंट एक्चुअली खत्म हो गया एक प्रकार से तो वो तो ज्ञान और विराग में ये फाइन लाइन है या टोटली मैं उसका एंगल ही मिस कर रहा हूँ
Okay. So does everybody understand the question? Okay, Prabhu, repeat your question again.
प्रभु क्वेश्चन है कि ज्ञान और विराग में अगर कोई स्थित है एक व्यक्ति ज्ञान में स्थित है एक व्यक्ति विराग में स्थित है तो जीवन को दोनों अलग अलग कैसे परसीव कर रहे हैं
Prabhu, they are not separate as such. ऐसा नहीं कि ज्ञान is here and virag is there. Right? In the first canto, we discussed in the second chapter, Sut Goswami is saying, Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Jannateshu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayat Ahetupam. So first he's saying, do you do bhakti? To whom? Bhagavan Vasudeva. Then what happens? Jannateshu Vairagyam. So you first have the Vairagyam. First, you detach yourself, only then you are ready to accept the Gyan. Otherwise, you will not accept the knowledge. You can't put them side by side. First, you have to have the detachment. First, you develop the Vairagya. Right? And then, it is said, Gyan will automatically come. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upiyanti. Then Krishna will give you Gyan. But looking at Krishna's pastime, there is also said something that very often, Prabhuji Mataji, we make some mistake. Atmavat mannate jagat. When we see Krishna's pastime, he's enjoying, like there are some Srila Prabhupada who call them rascals. They go and talk about Ras Leela, teasing the girls. Oh, Krishna also used to do that. We are doing it. So it is said, Atmavat manyate jagat. We see, I see everything around me as per my level. Put it this way. Atmavat, as if you are also like me. Then my barometer or my scale is become as per my intelligence. Understand? So that is also another thing. Sometimes, Prabhuji Mataji, when we hear these pastimes, other day one Prabhu was asking that, Prabhu, how can Parikshit Maharaj go and put snake, around the neck of the Rishi? How can he do that? How can the sages get angry? How can the sages curse Yadavas? Yadavas were very strong. So the two moods, Prabhuji. One is, we have to be, because it is said in the scripture, we should be willing to accept it as is, as it is stated in the scripture. That's one. And the second thing is, once we accept the scriptures, if we want to understand, if we want to get to the bottom of it, then that's why Lord Krishna has said in Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter. What is that famous verse? Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya updekshayanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshi. Then the second step is, we go and surrender. We go and surrender. Like these Yadavas, they went to sages. They were pretending, oh, we are so surrendered to you. Please tell us, Rishi, isko ladka hoga ya ladki hogi? So there was a pretentious surrender. So they also went and they bowed down. So sometimes we also say, Dandvat Pranam Prabhuji. But हमारे दिमाग में चल रहा है इसकी टांग पकड़ के कैसे खींचूं? दंडवत मतलब दंडवत हो किसका पैर पकड़ के इसको गिरा. So we have to avoid that. So the point that I just want to make is, very often, Prabhuji, we hear these pastimes, we are trying to fit into our logic. Whereas our logic is not big enough. How can we understand? So we cannot comprehend. Yeah? So that's a separate topic. But yes, Prabhuji, to answer your question, yes, we have to be mindful. You are not this body, you are the soul. By developing that concept of mind, you enjoy your life, but at the same time, the first step is vairagya, detachment. Right? It is easier said than done. I have also struggled, I will be honest with you, just that I'm sitting here. But through your association, through each other's association, we help each other. That is the whole point. When I see devotees around me, when devotees are chanting the holy names, it works automatically. You don't have to do any endeavor. That is how it works. Prahlad Maharaj is saying, this is a medicine. This is a medicine, a quinine, whether you like it or not. If you take the medicine, it will do its job. It will cure you, whether it is bitter or however it is. So same concept, Harinam works like that. That is why Rupa Goswami says, out of 64 limbs of bhakti, 9 limbs are strong. Out of 9, 5 are strong. And out of that, he says 1 is strong. Tar madhe. Out of these, Harinam Sankirtan. That is the shrest out of that. So that's how it works. You just chant the holy name, and you like taking the medicine, and the disease will get cured. You don't even know. That's how it works. Don't worry about, why am I thinking? There was a nice post by one Mataji in our chanting book. If somebody read that. If you don't feel like chanting, still chant. If you feel like chanting in the night, still chant. Right? If you feel like sleeping, I don't know, I can't remember the whole of that. But all the options were given. Just chant. So let's do that. Okay, Granthra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Gurudev ki. Okay. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Okay, Divyatma Prabhu, we'll stop now and we will see you next Saturday, Prabhu, at our hall program. Haribol. So, Prabhuji Mataji, the next activity is